Hello again, Dinky Danny here. I just finished watching the Nintendo E3 conference and I saw Microsoft and Sony's yesterday, so I figure I'll just put up this video, give my opinions on the conferences, what I liked and didn't like, and what we're expecting to see in the next year of gaming. So let's get started. First up was Microsoft, and they opened up with a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 trailer, and I'm a fan of the Call of Duty games, but they've been coming out every year, so I wasn't too excited to see this as their opening trailer. But the game looked pretty good. Not sure if I'll be buying it day one, but overall looked like a pretty decent game. Next, they were talking about Halo Anniversary. I was pretty excited for this one. They're going to be remaking the original Halo with upgraded graphics, online co-op capabilities, which will be really nice. I always look to play Halo with my friends that are out of town. And also, they're going to be upgrading the online multiplayer. So I really I'm a big fan of the Halo multiplayer. I really loved Halo 3. Not so much Halo Reach, so I'm hoping that they go back to the roots, bring this game back up, and have an excellent online multiplayer experience. Also, along the lines of Halo, they announced at the end of the conference a Halo 4 trailer. And it looks like it's going to take place directly after Halo 3. So if you beat Halo 3 on Legendary, you'll recognize the scene in the trailer. And it looks like a pretty good game. I'm just not sure what's going to happen with 343 Studios taking over. Not sure how they'll pick up the franchise and carry it along. Hopefully they do a good job. Like I said with Halo Reach, I was pretty disappointed by that game. So hopefully they go back to the roots of Halo 1, 2, and 3. Also, they showed a trailer of Gears of War 3. I'm not a huge Gears of War fan, but the graphics looked incredible and it looked like they were adding a lot of things to the game. So it looks like it's going to be pretty impressive. Another game that they talked about was Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 3 looked incredible. We all know the series. It's a great series. And what they showed was some Kinect features that they were going to enable into the game. They used voice recognition. So as you're playing through the game, you could use your voice and just talk and command your teammates and allies and tell them what to do, and the voice would be recognized and they would actually carry it out in the game. It was a pretty cool feature. Looked pretty interesting. Not sure exactly how well it'll work until we have it in our hands. But overall, it looked like a cool feature that I could definitely get into. Along the lines of Kinect, they were really talking about a lot of Kinect games. And they had a lot of demos. They had Sesame Street, a Disney game, and I just thought the presentation was terrible. They were scripted, and everything about it I just did not like. So before this conference, I was kind of thinking about whether to buy a Kinect. I wasn't quite sure. Just these past 2 weeks I've been thinking about it. And I figure I'll wait until the conference, see what they have to offer, and decide afterwards. And from the display that they showed, I'm not very excited to get a Kinect. I know a lot of people have been buying them, and a lot of people have been liking them. But the display that they put on for this E3 conference, I thought was just terrible. And it just really didn't do it for me, didn't convince me to buy the games. But they showed a couple games like this Sesame Street, a lot of kids games. They had some dance games, things like that, but nothing that I was too interested in. So overall, they had a couple decent games, but I think that Microsoft didn't quite do what they wanted to do, and I wasn't really a big fan of their conference. So next up, I'll talk about Sony. So next up was Sony's conference, and I was pretty impressed. They did a good job. One of the small things that they announced was a Shadow of the Colossus and Eco collection, and it's going to be available in HD and 3D. So Eco and Shadow of the Colossus are two of my favorite games, so to have them in HD and 3D is pretty exciting. It's going to be released in September this year, but I was pretty disappointed because they didn't even say a word about The Last Guardian, and I've been looking forward to gameplay footage of this game for so long, and they just don't have it. So I guess I'm going to have to wait until the Tokyo Game Show. But I'll assume it's going to be out next year, but I'm really looking forward to the Shadow of the Colossus and the Eco collection. Also tied in with 3D, Sony's been trying to push the 3D games, and they have Resistance 3, the Shadow of the Colossus. I think they announced that Sly Cooper would be in 3D, and they announced a bundle that they're going to be having for a 24-inch LCD HD TV that's 3D ready. It'll come with a set of 3D glasses, the game Resistance 3, and an HDMI cable. So they're going to sell this for $499 US, which is not a bad deal. I mean, you get the TV and the glasses. Usually the glasses are $60 or $70 just for themselves. So I think it's going to help push some 3D into people's homes, try and get their PlayStation games into 3D and have people start trying them out and seeing if they like them. Next up was the game Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception. We all know about the Uncharted series. It's incredible, and this game just looks like it's going to go a step farther. And they showed a video trailer and also some gameplay, and the graphics look incredible. It looks really exciting, so I'm looking forward to that. Almost guaranteed going to pick that game up day one, as I know a lot of you are. The last thing that I was pretty impressed with was the NGP. They officially named it the PSVita, which is their new handheld that's going to take the place of the PSP. Now I have a Sony PSP, and I don't use it all that often, so I wasn't too excited about the NGP or the PS Vita. And after watching their conference today, they really changed my mind. I'm not sure if I'll get it day one still, because I wasn't a huge fan of the PSP, but from their demonstration they showed a game, Uncharted Golden Abyss, and it looked pretty good. The graphics looked on par, a little bit below maybe PS3 graphics, and they showed the gameplay of the guy playing it, and you could be playing Uncharted, and to jump from ledges, instead of pressing the buttons, you could use the touch screen on the front. It was a 5-inch touch screen, I believe, and you could touch and he would jump across the gaps. And also, if there were chains of ledges that you were supposed to climb, you could use the touch screen and move your finger, and he would climb along those ledges. It was a really cool feature. The graphics looked incredible. It has dual analog sticks, which is really nice. And also they had a touchpad on the back of the device. So it wasn't really a touch screen. It was a touch pad where you could slide your fingers around, and they showed a demo of Mod Nation Racers where you could use the back touch screen to make mountains and kind of customize your course, and it was a pretty cool looking device. I think it's going to have a lot of potential in the future, and it'll probably give the Nintendo 3DS a run for its money. So, very good conference by Sony. I think they did a pretty good job and got the point across for their new handheld. Next up, I'll talk about Nintendo. Next up was the Nintendo conference, and they showed a lot of things for the Nintendo 3DS. I've had the Nintendo 3DS for a few weeks now, and honestly the game lineup isn't too strong so far. So I was looking forward to seeing some games, and Nintendo showed a lot of cool games that I'm really looking forward to. Also, they announced a lot of features that are going to be available with the update that just went through today. Now there is a Nintendo 3DS eStore where you're able to download Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games. You can also download 3D game trailers, and in the future you'll be able to download demos and a lot of other things involving the new games that are going to be coming out. Also, there's now a web browser on the 3DS, so very cool. And during the conference they went over a lot of those features that are going to be available. As far as games, they showed some incredible games. If you have your 3DS, go to the eStore and download the 3D trailers, because I watched the E3 conference on my television, and the games looked pretty cool. But when I went onto my 3DS and watched the trailers in 3D, the difference was remarkable. The games look so much better in 3D, and it gets me really excited for what's going to be coming out in the future. Some of the major games that they showed, obviously, was Ocarina of Time. That's going to be coming out in a week or two. Everyone's already excited for that. They also showed a new Mario Brothers game called New Super Mario Brothers Me, and it looks almost like a Super Mario Galaxy style game in 3D, which is probably my most anticipated. Another game that I was really excited for is Luigi's Mansion 2. I played this game on the GameCube and absolutely loved it, and have been looking forward to a sequel for a long time, and they've just never come out with one. So now they're going to have it, and it's going to be in 3D. The trailer looks really good. Another game that they already showed was Kid Icarus, and they showed a little bit more in-depth trailer. It looked very good. The 3D looked incredible. As you're flying around, you're shooting items into the screen. It looked very nice. The next game, they showed Star Fox 64, and they showed a cool feature that will be available on it, and as you're playing through the game, you'll be able to play with multiplayer people, and you'll be able to see video of those people as they're playing. So they're going to have video and voice enabled, which is something that I was a little bit curious about, because I would really like to have some online voice while I'm playing with my friends. So very cool features for the Nintendo 3DS. Looks like they have a lot coming for that. The next thing Nintendo went over was their new console that's going to be released next year, called the Nintendo WiiU. And I'm not going to go into too much detail about this console because it's so hard to explain without you seeing the video. I highly recommend that you check out the E3 trailers that they showed for this device. But what I'll say about it is, first of all, I'm very excited about it. It looks really innovative, and I'm not quite sure how everything's going to work with it. It's completely off the wall. It was something that I wasn't expecting. And basically, you have the console which sits under your television, and mainly during the E3 conference, they showed off the controller. It's a very large controller. It has a 6.5-inch touchscreen built into it, and it has the regular analog sticks, D-pad, buttons. So if you want to play hardcore games, it looks like they're going to have that available to you. You're not going to have to use motion controls all the time. But the controller does have an accelerometer, and you'll be able to use the motion controls if in certain games. Also, you can use the regular Wiimote controllers with it. So it looks like they're kind of catering towards hardcore gamers and the casual gamers. The cool things about this controller, first of all, you can hold the controller up in front of you and use the touchscreen controls to send things directly from the controller to the television. They showed a display of this where they had a video, they brought up a YouTube video or something on the controller, and they wanted to put it on the TV, so they just slid it like this, and it would go onto the television and you could watch it there. Another demonstration that they showed was someone was playing Mario Brothers on the television, someone came into the room and needed to use the TV, so they put on a baseball game or changed the channel, and instantly, seamlessly, the game went from the television directly to the HD controller, and they could continue playing there. So you could be playing a game, sitting up on your couch, and then if you want to go to bed, you could transfer it onto the controller and play from your bed. Now, a little bit of clarity. After the conference, Reggie did announce that the console will be 1080p, so that's nice. It'll have HD graphics, hopefully on par with Xbox 360 and all that. I don't know what Xbox and Sony will be coming out with the next generation, but it's nice to see an HD Nintendo console. And also, it's not a portable device. A lot of people watched the conference and thought it might be a portable device where they could take it around with them, but that's not what it is. Apparently, there's going to be a console that sits under your television, and you need to be within the vicinity of that console device to be able to use this. So while it is very nice being able to take it around, it's not going to be a portable device. They wanted to make sure that they said that that is not what they wanted. Another cool thing about this that I thought was fairly neat is they're going to have multiplayer games where you can have one person playing on the controller, and they'll see one thing on their HD screen, and the other players will be playing on the television. So they showed a game with a UFO where a guy will be using his controller, and he'll see on his screen him flying the UFO from almost a bird's eye view, and the other players will be running around on the ground, and they'll see on the television. So it would create a very good multiplayer atmosphere where the one person could have a big advantage over the other players. And I'm really looking forward to Mario Party games. I think it'll be a lot of fun having a lot of people over and being able to play multiplayer games in a way that's never been available. So overall, I think Nintendo had the best conference. They showed their new device, and of course I was really excited for the 3DS games. But Sony did an excellent job too with their PS Vita. I'm very much looking forward to that. And I wasn't at first, but they convinced me during their conference that it's going to be something to look into. As far as Xbox, I was pretty disappointed with their demonstration, but they did have a few games that I was interested in. So make sure, leave some comments down below, let me know what you thought about the conferences, and what you're looking forward to in the next year. I'm Dinky Dana, and thanks for watching.